Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're hearing the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any section using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Post-structural discourse analysis across fields. Post-structural discourse analysis offers transformative insights across various fields, including literary analysis, media studies, and the social sciences. This analytical approach delves into the fluidity of meanings, the dynamics of power, and the roles of ideologies in shaping narratives. By focusing on the multiplicity of interpretations and the socio-cultural contexts of texts, post-structural analysis reveals the undercurrents of thought and power that influence how texts are created, interpreted, and used to perpetuate or challenge existing social structures.
1. Literary analysis. Post-structuralist theories offer profound insights for literary analysis, reshaping how we understand, interpret, and engage with literary texts.
By emphasizing the fluidity of meaning, the variability of interpretations, and the power dynamics at play within narratives, post-structuralism enriches discourse analysis in literary studies in several key ways. 1. Embracing multiplicity of meanings. Approach. Recognize that a literary text does not convey a singular, fixed meaning but is open to a multitude of interpretations. This multiplicity reflects the diverse perspectives, historical contexts, and cultural backgrounds of its readers. Application. Analyze texts with an awareness of their polysemic nature, considering how different readings can emerge based on varying reader responses. This involves exploring the text's ambiguities, contradictions, and gaps that allow for multiple interpretations. 2. Deconstructing narratives. Approach. Utilize deconstruction to examine how narratives are both constructed and undone within the text itself. This method pays close attention to the use of language, literary devices, and narrative structures to uncover underlying assumptions and ideologies. Application. Identify binary oppositions and hierarchical structures within the text and explore how these are challenged or destabilized by the narrative. Look for moments where the text undermines its own authority or questions the veracity of its representations. 3. Uncovering power dynamics and ideologies. Approach. Investigate the power relations and ideological underpinnings manifested through the text's discourse. This includes examining who speaks, who is silenced, and the values and beliefs that are endorsed or critiqued. Application. Analyze characterizations, dialogues, and the narrator's perspective to reveal how power and ideology are constructed and contested. Pay attention to how social identities, such as gender, race, class, are represented and the implications for understanding power and inequality. 4. Examining the role of the reader. Approach. Acknowledge the active role of the reader in constructing meaning, influenced by their own experiences, cultural context, and interpretive strategies. This perspective aligns with the notion that meaning is not solely inherent in the text but co-created by the reader. Application. Consider the strategies employed by the text to engage the reader, including narrative voice, address, and intertextual references. Reflect on how different readers might negotiate the text's meanings based on their own subjectivities and contexts. 5. Contextualizing literary production. Approach. Situate literary texts within their historical, cultural, and social contexts to understand how they both reflect and contribute to discourses of their time. This involves considering the conditions of the text's production and reception. Application. Explore the historical background, cultural norms, and social debates contemporaneous with the text's publication to grasp how these elements inform its themes, styles, and reception. This contextual analysis can uncover the broader discursive fields within which the text operates. 6. Reflexivity in literary criticism. Approach. Maintain a reflexive stance regarding the analyst's positionality, acknowledging how their own perspectives and theoretical inclinations shape their interpretations of literary texts.
Application.
Engage in self-critical reflection on the interpretive choices made during analysis, including the selection of theoretical frameworks, focal points, and conclusions drawn.
This reflexivity enhances the rigor and depth of literary discourse analysis. Utilizing post-structuralist theories in literary studies facilitates a nuanced and critical engagement with texts, encouraging scholars to move beyond surface readings to explore the complex interplay of meaning, power, and ideology.
This approach not only deepens our understanding of literature but also illuminates the broader cultural and social discourses it both emerges from and contributes to.
2. Media studies. Applying post-structural discourse analysis to media studies offers a critical lens through which to examine the complex interactions between media narratives, cultural norms, and identity formation. This approach enables researchers to deconstruct media texts and uncover the ideologies and power dynamics they embody, providing insights into how media discourses contribute to societal conversations on crucial issues like race, gender, politics, and more. Here's how this can be effectively done. 1. Analyzing media discourses and cultural norms. Approach. Investigate how media texts construct, reproduce, and sometimes challenge cultural norms and values. This includes examining the representations of social identities, lifestyles, and beliefs within media narratives. Application. Conduct a detailed analysis of media content, including news reports, television shows, movies, and social media, to identify recurring themes, stereotypes, and narratives. Analyze how these elements serve to normalize certain views and practices while marginalizing or excluding others. 2. Deconstructing media texts to uncover ideologies. Approach. Utilize deconstructive techniques to reveal the underlying assumptions and ideologies in media texts. This involves looking beyond the surface meaning to explore the implicit messages and values conveyed. Application. Focus on the use of language, imagery, and framing in media texts to dissect how they reflect or contest dominant ideologies.
Pay attention to what is emphasized or omitted and how this serves to construct particular worldviews.
3. Examining media's role in shaping public opinion.
Approach. Analyze how media narratives influence public opinion, particularly regarding social issues, political events, and public figures.
This includes understanding the mechanisms through which media can sway perceptions and attitudes. Application. Explore the framing of news stories, the portrayal of political events, and the representation of social issues to discern how media shapes the discourse around these topics.
Consider the sources of information, the selection of experts, and the use of language in constructing a particular stance or perspective.
4. Understanding identity formation through media discourses.
Approach. Investigate how media discourses contribute to the formation and expression of identities, including how individuals see themselves and are seen by others. This involves exploring the interplay between media representations and individual subjectivities. Application. Analyze the portrayal of gender, race, class, and other identity markers in media texts to understand how these representations offer resources for identity construction. Examine how audiences engage with and negotiate these representations in the context of their own lives.
5. Uncovering societal discourses on race, gender, politics, etc. Approach. Critically assess how media narratives engage with and contribute to broader societal discourses on race, gender, politics, and other significant issues. This involves identifying the discursive strategies used to address or circumvent contentious topics. Application. Analyze media coverage of political movements, social issues, and cultural debates to determine how media discourses reinforce or challenge existing power structures and social hierarchies. Pay particular attention to how race, gender, and other social divisions are constructed and problematized within media narratives. 6. Methodological considerations. Interdisciplinary approach. Integrate methodologies from linguistics, cultural studies,
sociology, and psychology to offer a comprehensive analysis of media texts and their impacts. Reflexivity. Maintain a reflexive stance regarding the research process, being mindful of one's own biases and the potential influence of one's theoretical and methodological choices on the analysis. By applying post-structural discourse analysis to media studies, researchers can elucidate the complex ways in which media narratives shape, reflect, and sometimes contest cultural norms, values, and identities. This approach not only enhances our understanding of media's role in society but also underscores the critical function of media in negotiating and disseminating power. 3. Social sciences. Integrating post-structural theories with discourse analysis within the social sciences opens up a rich vein of inquiry into the construction of knowledge, identities, and social realities. This approach is particularly potent in fields like gender studies, sociology, and political science, where understanding the dynamics of power, identity, and social structures is central. Here's how post-structural discourse analysis can be effectively utilized across these disciplines. 1. Gender studies. Approach. Focus on deconstructing the discourses that construct and perpetuate gender norms and identities, paying special attention to how language reinforces or challenges gender binaries and inequalities. Application. Analyze texts and media representations to understand how gender is constructed through discourse. Investigate the ways in which gendered identities are negotiated and resisted in everyday language, in institutional settings, and in cultural products. This includes examining the discursive practices that marginalize or privilege certain gender identities over others. 2. Sociology. Approach. Explore the role of discourse in constructing social realities and structures, including class, race, ethnicity, and community. Utilize discourse analysis to reveal how societal norms and hierarchies are maintained or contested through language. Application. Conduct analyses of policy documents, media texts, and public speeches to uncover how social categories and relations are discursively constructed. Examine how social practices and interactions reproduce or challenge these constructions, focusing on the implications for social inequality and cohesion. 3. Political science. Approach. Investigate how political ideologies, identities, and power relations are produced and contested through discourse. This includes analyzing the rhetoric of political leaders, the framing of political issues in the media, and the language of political movements. Application. Analyze political speeches, campaign materials, legislative debates, and news coverage to explore how political discourses shape public opinion, policy decisions, and the political landscape. Pay particular attention to how discourses mobilize support, construct political enemies, and negotiate authority. 4. Methodological considerations. Interdisciplinary integration. Draw on concepts and methods from linguistics, anthropology, and cultural studies to enrich the analysis of social discourses. This interdisciplinary approach provides a more nuanced understanding of how language functions within social contexts. Critical examination of power and ideology. Utilize a critical lens to examine the role of power and ideology in discourse. This involves identifying the interests served by certain discourses and the mechanisms through which they naturalize specific worldviews or social orders. Reflexivity and positionality. Reflect on the role of the researcher's own positionality in the research process, including how their perspectives and theoretical orientations influence the analysis. This reflexivity enhances the rigor and ethical grounding of the study. Integrating post-structural theories with discourse analysis in the social sciences offers a powerful tool for unpacking the complex ways in which language constructs and reflects social realities. By focusing on the discursive practices that shape social experiences, identities, and power relations, researchers can provide critical insights into the dynamics of social life, contributing to a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our world. Conclusion. Integrating post-structuralist theories into the domains of literary analysis, media studies, and social sciences represents a transformative approach that deepens our understanding of texts, societal discourses, and the construction of identities. This interdisciplinary methodology illuminates the inherent multiplicity of meanings, the dynamics of power and ideology embedded within narratives, and the fluid nature of identity as constructed through discursive practices. By acknowledging the active role of the reader or audience in co-creating meanings, deconstructing narratives to uncover underlying assumptions, and situating texts within their broader historical and cultural contexts, post-structuralist discourse analysis offers a nuanced and critical lens through which to examine the complex interplay between language, power, and society. In literary analysis, this approach encourages a polysemic engagement with texts, enriching the interpretive process by considering multiple perspectives and the instability of meaning. In media studies, it provides tools to critically assess how media narratives shape and are shaped by cultural norms, ideologies, and power relations, offering insights into the construction of public opinion and the formation of identities. Within the social sciences, post-structuralist discourse analysis sheds light on the discursive construction of social realities and structures, revealing the ways in which language both reflects and influences social dynamics, power hierarchies, and individual subjectivities. By foregrounding reflexivity, acknowledging the researcher's positionality, and embracing an interdisciplinary approach, post-structuralist discourse analysis not only advances our theoretical understanding but also fosters a critical awareness of the roles we play as interpreters and creators of meaning. This methodology not only contributes to academic discourse but also has practical implications for challenging oppressive structures and envisioning more equitable and inclusive social arrangements, underscoring the enduring relevance and transformative potential of post-structuralist thought in contemporary analysis. Frequently asked questions. How does post-structuralism enhance literary analysis? Post-structuralism enhances literary analysis by emphasizing the fluidity of meaning, encouraging multiple interpretations, and examining power dynamics within narratives. It shifts focus from seeking a singular truth to exploring how texts interact with readers and society, uncovering underlying ideologies and assumptions.
What role does deconstruction play in analyzing narratives? Deconstruction plays a critical role in analyzing narratives by uncovering the assumptions, contradictions, and hierarchies embedded within texts. It challenges binary oppositions and hierarchical structures, revealing how texts question their own authority and the instability of meaning. How can discourse analysis uncover power dynamics in media texts? Discourse analysis can uncover power dynamics in media texts by examining representations of social identities, ideologies, and values. It reveals who is given a voice, whose perspectives are marginalized, and how certain ideologies are normalized or contested within media narratives. Why is the reader's role significant in post-structuralist discourse analysis? The reader's role is significant because it recognizes readers as active participants in meaning-making. Post-structuralism suggests that interpretations are influenced by readers' backgrounds and contexts, highlighting the dynamic interaction between text and reader in the construction of meaning. How does post-structuralism apply to media studies? In media studies, post-structuralism applies by analyzing how media constructs cultural norms, shapes public opinion, and contributes to identity formation. It deconstructs media texts to expose underlying ideologies and examines the complex interactions between media narratives and societal discourses. How is reflexivity important in literary and media discourse analysis? Reflexivity is important because it requires analysts to acknowledge their own biases, theoretical preferences, and the influence of their positions on their interpretations. This self-awareness enhances the depth and rigor of analysis, ensuring a more ethical and nuanced engagement with texts. How can gender studies benefit from post-structuralist discourse analysis? Gender studies benefit from post-structuralist discourse analysis by critically examining how discourses construct and perpetuate gender norms.
It explores the linguistic and narrative practices that reinforce gender binaries, enabling a critical examination of gendered identities and inequalities. What methodological considerations are important in applying post-structuralist discourse analysis across disciplines? Important methodological considerations include interdisciplinary integration, a critical examination of power and ideology, and reflexivity. These considerations ensure that analysis is nuanced, ethically grounded, and attentive to the complexities of language and society. How does post-structuralism inform analysis in sociology and political science? In sociology, post-structuralism informs analysis by examining how social structures and realities are discursively constructed. In political science, it focuses on how political ideologies and power relations are produced and contested through discourse, influencing public opinion and policy. Can post-structuralist discourse analysis contribute to social change? Yes, post-structuralist discourse analysis can contribute to social change by uncovering the discursive practices that sustain power imbalances and social inequalities. By critically examining and challenging these practices, it can promote more inclusive and equitable societal discourses.